Devon A. Chain. Oh, in the second round.
Such good value.
Nick Bosa isn't even that good.
I started recording. That's a good intro.
Nick Bolton so high.
Oh, guys, I saw this post on Reddit. It was a guy asking, should he sell Nick Bolton to bolster his wide
Oh yeah, I
receiver
saw that.
core?
Yeah.
Did you see that? And he was like, I wonder. He was like, who should I trade Nick Bolton for? Zay Flowers, Amon-Ra
I
St.
saw that. I
Brown.
was like,
I'm like,
damn.
dude, this guy's high as fuck. What the hell? So I am very curious about his league settings and if he is able to trade for Zay Flowers and or Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I'm kind of doubting it.
Yeah, the Amon-Ra St. Brown one, I was like, okay, you're probably gonna have to give something in conjunction with that.
Yeah, he said plus, but to me plus usually means
Yeah,
like
everyone made fun of him after that point.
a second at most or something. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna start off with we got a fan mail actually. So
Oh, interesting.
I haven't actually listened to it. So
This must be Andrew.
we'll listen. Yeah, of course, it's
It's gotta
Andrew.
be Andrew.
So we'll listen in and see for the first time. And I think I told him to ask a question or something. So Andrew and I met up actually last week and watched Thursday
Oh,
Night
dude,
Football.
yeah, I got to hear about that.
So so he mentioned this as an idea. So I thought it was great.
Hey guys, first time caller, long time listener. Love the show. You guys do a great job, and the show is something that I always look forward to each and every week. It's just a great way to distract myself during the workday, you know? I do have a question for y'all. We're talking trades here. Can you talk about your most difficult trade experiences? You know, think a lot of back and forth, healthy discussion, many tweaks to the offer. Maybe you got the trade over the line, or maybe it fell through. Thanks, guys. I'll hang up and listen.
I like the format. Very good.
That was good.
I thought we were on a real talk show for a second.
Hey, anybody want to start on that one? That's actually a good question.
That is. I probably would say you go ahead.
Before anyone goes, and you can go first, I think everyone has someone in mind from a few months back that's gotten a little better.
Are we talking
Go
about?
ahead, Sam.
I actually don't know who you're talking about.
I feel like, okay, well, I feel like everyone used to complain about Adcock and how hard it was negotiating with him. But I think people recently are saying that he's good at trading. He's good at getting the value that he deserves. And it's become less that he is difficult to trade with and more that he's a competent trade partner.
Yeah,
I feel like that conversation
shifted. He's made trades, a lot of trades, and I find that in general he's gotten very good value on his trades. So
absolutely,
yeah.
So I feel like some of the stories might have been about him in the past. Maybe they still are, but I think the perception on how people trade has changed over the years.
All right, Sam, where are you going for?
Well, I kind of have two in mind. I think the first that comes to mind is the Pitts Olave trade that was, so scrutinized. I think it was a lot of like fine tuning of that trade where it probably started off like fair value with like the conversation being around like Jahan Dotson or Ramondre, which honestly that would look fantastic now if I got like the 103 for either any of those players combined because they're not really having good seasons. But I think we went back and forth on like who would be added to the trade to make it fair. And ultimately, at the time of the trade, obviously the Pitts Olave side wins. I think it's still kind of like in that favor, but we'll see.
I think it's close enough that you'd be happy on either side. Like nothing has really become like very clearly
Yeah, I don't think it's like
very, very
screamingly
clear,
obvious.
like production year by year. Like nothing has been solid yet. There's just hints of potential.
And it's got to be that trade
and then
ended up being Bryce, right? So
yeah,
right, yeah. So
Bryce and Komet.
I mean,
playing pretty well this year.
It's got to be interesting because we didn't talk for 2 weeks on the podcast, right? And Bryce has had 2 promising weeks, I would say.
Last week was like pretty mid, I would say, where it's like he had like a really nice start to the game and then kind of didn't.
Bryce,
man, to me that feels like promising though, at least to some level, right? That he's kind of gone.
He is promising to me to the extent that I know he's going to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. But then my other trade partner is Adcock, where the Warner trade went back and forth like so many iterations, sending like literally like 10 screenshots of keep trade cut to show him that like at least what I was evaluating the trade at was fair from like my standpoint, was like an overpay at a certain point. So yeah, it took
I got a good story.
lots of screenshots to get there. But hey, Fred Warner's playing pretty well as well, so I'm happy with that.
For me, I
Paul,
think
any trade partners you've had struggles with?
Well, it's a good timing actually with Murray Kyler coming off the PUP. That trade, because I was trying to get that done really right at the deadline. I think that trade got done 3 or 4 hours before the deadline, and that was just me in desperation mode. Essentially, I had lost all my QBs. I lost Garoppolo, who I just traded for.
I needed
somebody, and I decided to take a shot, right? And it was just me adding player after player on for Austin. I think he was just playing me for more and more, you know. And I still feel pretty good about that trade, actually, even with Swift doing well now. But obviously, he got injured right after. But that was maybe less of a contentious back and forth and more of just me getting
it's a good story, nevertheless.
I think Austin likes that trade quite a bit, especially with the circumstances. Alec, you have any story in mind?
I have 2 stories, I guess. So first I'll go off of nothing crazy, but I recall having multiple trade discussions over multiple different players with Adcock over the last 2 or 3 years. And sometimes they get done, sometimes they don't. But one that stuck out to me, which is funny, and we're kind of new to the league, still trying to value players correctly. I'm trying to trade like Pitts and Olave for Lawrence, I think, or maybe it was Lamar, and he plugs it into like a redraft calculator, and I'm like trying to negotiate with him. I remember him sending back to me, This is like way too far off, man. I'm gonna need like way more. I don't know why, but when I put these into the calculator, it's putting like Lamar at like 73 and Pitts and Olave at like 12. So that was just one memorable.
Oh man, that reminds me
that never happened.
The addition to the Kyler trade was I was sending very similar trade offers to Zach that same night, and for Lawrence, right? And it was before Lawrence blew up at the end of last season, and I wanted Lawrence over Kyler. And he texts me back the next day. He's like, "Oh, big trade for Kyler. I would have definitely accepted that for Lawrence, but I was skiing last night."
Oh man, that's just how fantasy goes.
Yeah,
but I mean, to be fair, Lawrence hasn't been having the hottest year this year, so maybe you made the right move there, Paul.
Yeah. At best, it's a wash, but right now I doubt that anyone in the league would consider
sure
take Kyler over Lawrence. But maybe in a few weeks, who knows? Anything else? I don't know. I haven't done any trading with Andrew yet, actually, but
he's a good trade partner.
Maybe I have.
I like Andrew as a trade partner.
I do remember trying to trade for TJ Watt and offering a first, second, and a third, and he turned it down, which turned
Yeah,
out to
I also remember trying to trade for TJ Watt and him telling me he needed more. And guess what? He was right.
Yeah, he was right. TJ Watt's out man's whole team, it feels like at some points, doesn't it? Alec feels
I
that
thought there was
very.
no way in hell Andrew is going to make use of TJ Watt's production again. He needs to get rid of him. And here you go. 1 year tank back into trying to make the playoff picture.
It does
So
kind of go to show that I think we don't know how short tanks can be yet. Like, we're just so young as a league. We just don't have any experience.
I'm willing to bet that his tank is going to be on the shorter end of tanks.
What, Andrew? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if right now it's interesting. The league dynamic has shifted quite a bit over the last 2 weeks. Happy to say that Alec and I are very much back in the picture. Alec currently.
I always knew we were in the picture, Paul.
Hey, come on! You weren't ever 1 and 2, were you? Or I was 1 and 3. Were you? You were 2 and 3, weren't you?
I was 2 and 3, and I think it was 2 and 2.
2 and 2. Yeah, because
I think worst. I was 1 and 2, maybe.
Because I was 1 and 3, and I needed to win 2 in a row, which, I did. And look at the point four. Yeah, thank you. Because right now, actually, it's Sam, Austin, then Alec, and then me back in the top 4 for points 4. Obviously, it's a very tight with Zach, Shane right there in the running. Andrew's point 4 not looking as hot, even though he's 4 and 2. Todd loses for the first time. I was mapping out
kink in the armor.
I mean, okay, look, I was mapping out his next 4 weeks. It's kind of a tough schedule, right?
Yeah, he could be 5 and 5 4 weeks from now.
What should Todd do? What do you even do in a position like that? Shouldn't he? I was just thinking about this.
I saw a post like this on the Dynasty subreddit a day or two ago, and the post was, okay, you're a pretender and you're in the playoff picture right now. What do you do? And I immediately thought of Todd.
I think you need to make. I think making some small moves to improve your team, some small cheap moves.
I think you're in the playoff picture at all. Make it happen.
Yeah, it doesn't. What I don't understand. Claypool.
You're looking at his roster. You're like, how is this 4 and 1? How is this 5 and 1 right now?
Yeah.
How do I have 3 losses?
Stroud.
To be fair, the OSU boys have been scoring some points the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think he actually is having a tough bye situation this week too. All right, what else? Thoughts, impressions from the last 2 weeks? I'm happy to be in the picture now.
I want to Sam, which is huge. I think if I lost to Sam this week, I'm almost entirely relying on getting that 6 seed protection. If I had lost this week to Sam, and it very much could have been a loss to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that same question. Is like, what were your thoughts going into this week facing
fear?
Yeah, like falling
fear because I consider you like the biggest threat in the league right now. So hardest matchup, and easily could have been another loss. Another loss on 2 and 4, and you're not getting top 5 seeds starting off 2 and 4. You're fighting for that 6 seed most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this week was like a really big pivotal week for you. So, congrats, buddy.
It was a big week for us too.
Thanks for not having all of your DLs have 40-point games like I've been going against the whole season.
Yeah,
it's just because right now we're top 4 points scored, and it doesn't feel safe getting that 6 seed. It normally feels like
it doesn't feel safe because there's 2 people right now that are looking at it.
I mean 3. I mean, look, Shane's right there too, right? So.
Oh, exactly.
It's yeah. I don't even.
Anything could happen.
I mean, right now, as it stands, you'd make the playoffs, and neither Shane nor I would be able to make it in, while Andrew, Zach. I mean, Zach is only at 1744. there's two people out of playoffs that have more points scored than him and Todd. It's, oh, sorry, Andrew, but also Andrew. So it's an interesting situation. I actually don't really know.
It's most interesting because you had 6 people who were intentional about making the playoffs this year / contending. There were 6 people that were very definitely going for it, right? We had the four of us from last year, you, me, Zach, and
Shane.
that's it. Sorry. Yeah, and Shane. Sorry, 4.
Shane,
that's 4
and
of
then
us.
Kyle, obviously.
And then you have 2 new guys coming in. You got Sam and Austin buying up a whole bunch of talent, a whole bunch of production over the course of the offseason, saying, I'm in the playoffs. So that's 6 teams already. But then the wrinkle is that there's 2 teams that were tanking last year that started off hot, and now they're going for it. And that's fucking everything up. Todd and Andrew sitting up here at the 2 seed and the 5 seed.
The economy's kind of fucked as a result too, isn't it? Because there's not. I mean, how much in assets? Kyle doesn't have too much left. Mike has some stuff. Jack definitely has some interesting players, but it's mostly been picked clean, hasn't it? So it's a bunch of people who are contending. Zach's kind of in a weird spot because he has some high end assets, but
he does.
He's not going to be parting with them.
No, he's very much in rebuild mode this year.
Yeah,
with how much he's been selling. So in reality, there's 8 contenders, people who want to contend, and there's 4 rebuilders that definitely want to rebuild. There's 0 middlemen right now that are like, am I here? Am I there? Everyone is either in or they're out.
It might change a little bit going forward, but I don't think it'll change that much. Like just 3 and 3s, 4 and 2s, 5 and 1s. Like everybody's so closely clustered that it's going to be a mad dash to actually make the playoffs. Probably. People would have to go, like, it would have to be Shane losing 3 in a row here, or Andrew losing like 5 in a row or something for it to really make a huge difference. Even Todd losing 4 in a row, he's 5 and 5, and he might still be in the playoff picture. This
definitely could end up being the coolest playoff race that we've had in this league so far.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be a really exciting run to the playoffs.
Down to the last week. Next person needs this person to win so that they can tie them and hop over them in points or some scenario like that.
It's exciting because in past years, the 6th, 5th, and 6th seeds kind of just limped in. They didn't even necessarily.
Yeah, that's
Jack,
what I'm saying.
you know,
we don't have limpers this year.
Yeah.
There's the 8 people that are like, oh yeah, I deserve to be in the playoff, or there's the 4 people that are like, yeah, it ain't me.
Well, it's also like they're selling off assets to the competitors as well to try to get as much as they can for their rebuild. Yeah.
Which, by the way, Adcock could absolutely be in the playoffs this year if he wanted to. He's fucking 3 and 3 right now, and he's been actively removing points from his lineup. He could probably be 5 and 1.
We could have
2
9 teams going for it and 3 rebuilding, is what you're saying.
He could have made it even more interesting.
Zach's looking, depending on how okay. So we've determined he's an excellent seller, right? So I'm curious about how he's going to be as a buyer.
That's true. We haven't seen him as a buyer.
But it's going to be, that could be a very scary team next year. It kind of gives me shades of Sam, except with more current assets.
With actual quarterbacks.
With actual quarterbacks, but fewer picks. But there's some, I mean, you does anyone have a QBs as good as he does? I don't think so, right?
He is the best.
No, I was actually thinking about that last night, that I feel like the best QBs in the league, Alec has 2 really good productive, where it's like Hurts and Goff.
I was gonna say I have the most productive, and I think he has the most
promising. Yeah, I would agree.
That's probably true. But
that's just because Goff should be an 8,000 overall QB.
Well, we'll see what he does next year. It's definitely going to be scary. He still has time to go for it this year, I guess, but it doesn't seem to be the plan.
Why would you make the moves he made unless you were on the way to rebuilding. Like,
Yeah, but
you don't trade Daniil Hunter unless it's obviously if it's like way overpriced and you have to sell. But that's exactly the kind of guy that you hold on to your team as a limper or a contender.
yes, but
You
if
get rid of that guy.
if he's gonna win a couple extra games here by accident, even at that point, it might be a Todd situation where what are you gonna do
I
at
just
5
don't
and 3?
see it. He's in a position where he can tank for the third worst record or max PF in the league, which gives him the third draft pick in the league. He's in a position that he could tank for that. I just don't see him being like giving that up and going for the 6th seed or 5th seed.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Okay, so that's what's state of the league. Anything else on state of the league? It's interesting. Trades. Let's talk trades. So I'm glad that we're doing this. You know, obviously we missed a week, but like if we're doing it weekly, then we don't have to talk about trades forever. But obviously there were some interesting trades. Let's start with the Thielen trade. That's what we have most recently, right? Or did the McFadden trade happen? But it doesn't matter. Let's start with the Thielen trade.
So basically,
skipping over my trade.
I had a bunch of bye week players this week, and I started freaking out. How am I going to score points this week?
Let me just go grab a top 10 wide receiver.
Let me go get a guy that's going to score me 23.
Let's go ahead and call. Okay, so I want to do. Let me share my whole screen instead. 1 second. Okay, you can see my whole screen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. I want to do. Let's do the trades with like some structure. I want to say winner, loser, and you're not allowed to pick. It's even. I don't. Maybe. I guess you can call it even. I don't know. It's kind of like a coward's way.
Let's just say which side would you rather have?
Which side would you rather have?
You gotta choose. Which side would you rather have?
I would rather have Thielen.
I would definitely rather have Thielen even
I'll
before
take Thielen.
last week.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think there was. I mean, we just talked about there's 8 contenders, right? There's going to be a lot of people who are interested in that instant production. So I would rather have.
He's
Thielen.
the ultimate buy now.
Yeah.
He's 33 years old. You don't think about his future promise at all. You're just like, he's scoring points now, and I need those points.
All right.
So I'm taking Thielen as well. I think
if Lazard throw in like a third alone is definitely not worth like that top 10 wide receiver production he's giving right now. So the Lazard thing is kind of interesting in my opinion. Like I feel like
how the trade went was I offered him my third rounder or Austin's third rounder, and he turned around and said Lazard in the third rounder, and I said, okay.
All right.
Okay.
I guess that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
I bought Lazard from you for a third rounder.
Third rounder. So it's
in
like
a way,
two-thirds.
it's like
two-thirds for Thielen.
I still don't love
it. Feels
it,
a little light. It feels very light. Not old. I mean, you're not getting a first for Thielen. You're getting, but I think a second.
You hope to get a second.
Reasonable.
You hope to get a second, but
I think
you don't know if you're going to get a second.
Is reasonable. Well, you don't if you don't ask around. Okay, so let's move on to Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown for Kyle's second, so probable 201, right? And so like a late third. We can call it the 2025 3.12. I think it's okay.
I don't mind it. I just feel like that's the trade. Like if I had to come up with a good package for Thielen, a second, like a early second, and the third.
Really, you think Thielen equals Marquise Brown?
Yeah.
I'd rather like Marquise isn't producing as much, but he's producing something, and he's like 7 years younger.
I would take Marquise Brown over Thielen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on like what your roster composition is. Like if you're a win now team, that's a really good trade for you.
Yeah, but we also don't like I Thielen's playing wonderfully, but do you really believe in it for the full year as well? So I think
you have no idea. He's 33 years old.
You have like a Bryce Young who, I mean, I'm speaking biasly in that like I own Bryce Young, but I I think he's like trending upwards, and he clearly is like every throw of substance is to Thielen. So it's like he's just feeding him as a wide receiver. So if like you believe in Bryce's ascension, you very much believe in like Thielen keeping as a top 10 wide
maybe
receiver.
His ascension means that he's not going to hyper target one receiver, and he can look at the other guys. Just a devil's advocate, not my actual opinion.
All right, guys. Thielen's not on this trade block right now. So Hollywood. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say I would rather have the Marquise Brown side, but I'd say it's tight. I think this is a good trade for both sides.
I'll take Marquise Brown as the contender. I'll take the draft picks as the rebuilder.
Fair enough.
Good trade.
Jerome Ford.
I feel like it's pretty.
I've already been told by Zach Ford that I overpaid for Ford, so I'm ready to hear your thoughts.
I wish we could add like a little for me. I think I'd rather have the second and the fourth.
I wish we could add a snippet from like the 3 podcasts ago when Alex shit on Jerome Ford and said he wasn't like a good running back, and then spends a second and a fourth on him.
I mean, if this was a real podcast, then I would edit it in.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously everyone's shitting on the trade now. I still don't think he's the most talented guy, but he is a starting running back that has 60% of his offense's touches right now, and it was a move to buy production right now in my time of need, the bye week. That's what that was. I won't call it the greatest trade ever. It was maybe a small overpay for some production.
I guess
in the running back slot.
In all the talks about Adcock, we are forgetting about Kyle Murray as an excellent seller as well. He's been getting great value for all of his
But
assets.
he's never been someone that was looked at negatively.
No, I just want to give a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle.
Yeah. Okay. This trade came in when I was at dinner with Andrew, actually, and I still haven't processed this. Like, I haven't even thought about this trade until I forgot it happened until just now. Thoughts?
Thoughts? We prepare very heavily for these podcasts. We know exactly what we're about to run into. And we have expert analysis on this trade right now. My initial reaction on it was like, wow, Todd just paid a lot of money to get Jacoby Myers. There's a first he's giving away, and I see Jacoby Myers as barely a second. And he's a mid-second. I was kind of seeing him in that light. So I was like, man, a first in garbage for Jacoby Myers in garbage. Give me the first in garbage. But upon further inspection, pretty even.
Yeah, it's a weird trade.
I think it's another contender rebuilder move where I'm happy depending on which side you're on.
I feel like this just got confusing because they added these, like, the third swap.
Yeah.
You know? And
well, that's why I say a first in garbage and then Jacoby Myers in garbage.
I think, okay, you got to take a side is our rules, right? So I'll take, I'm going to take
the
Jack's
side I will take is the first. I'm always going to take it first.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jack's side, especially since, is it Andrew's first? Or not Andrew's first, Todd's first?
Todd's first.
If he makes the playoffs, then...
This is a 2025 first.
Well, maybe he'll be even better next year.
It's possible, but I think I prefer Todd's 2025 first over his 2024 first. I don't know if he owns his
yeah.
I assume he owns his 24 first.
Probably.
I wonder how that discussion went, actually. Not two players that we've seen trade before. So,
yeah.
Obviously,
two guys that really never have traded before. At least Jack very infrequently, and Todd obviously being new to the league. So
I mean, to be fair, Todd has made two or three trades so far.
But it's the new guy trading with the guy that has been known to.
No, it's interesting.
Be lost in the woods.
Yeah. It was just a hard trade to parse. I'm still going to take the first here. Okay, Baker and a fourth for a second and a third.
Kyle finally is able to trade Baker.
And for a good price. I'm taking the second and the third all the time here.
I am too, but I understand the desperation, Austin. I just had
I mean, I just talked about my desperation to trade Austin for Kyler. So,
man, desperation trades are where you get the best deals. That's for sure.
Alec, I don't like that you and I are okay. So, in the last 2 years, did we even care about who we were starting really week to week? No, I didn't really. Like, I put in my best
I was
lineup.
like, this guy will produce.
Yeah.
This guy will also produce.
Now I have to win every game. I have to everything. Every point matters. This is bullshit. I don't like
this. You actually don't care about fantasy football that you.
Man, I just cared about the playoffs.
Dude, before my Sundays could never be ruined. Now, on any given Sunday, I might get beaten by some bullshit.
Okay, so trades out of the way. That was actually pretty interesting. We'll keep keeping a eye out on the trades. Fun to talk about. Do you want to do the rookie recap or go straight to predictions? We're at 30 minutes.
Let's do a quick rookie recap. Everyone talking about one rookie.
All right.
Sure. I'm just putting up the keep trade cut thing so that there's more things to argue about. If you want to compare to, whatever, or if you just want to talk about a rookie, go for it. I'll start. I think, and I thought this would be nice and controversial. So I think Laporta is way too high on here. Not like way, way high, but I still would take Puka, Gibbs, possibly Flowers over Laporta here.
I think that's fair. There might be some tight end premium people coming in and voting here.
He's also kind of just getting a lot of hype as well.
Yeah,
rightfully so. But maybe bumped up too far.
Yeah. Okay, another one. We taking Devon Achane or Gibbs? Keep trade cuts taking Achane.
I'm also taking Achane. FYI.
Achane. I'm not an owner. I apologize.
To be fair, we called him Achane for like 4 months and weren't corrected until week 2, I think.
Sam, would you like to defend your Gibbs?
I mean, don't love the production like right away, but
are you still taking him?
Yeah, I'm still taking him just because
draft happens tonight. You're taking Gibbs.
It's a long pause.
Right.
I think so. I believe in the draft cap. I think what he's shown on the field is...
I like the stock.
Yeah, like it's talent, and it's just a matter of him getting the touches. And I mean, it'll be interesting this week with Montgomery out and him potentially like getting more play this week just to see how he does. But I'm assuming they'll probably filter in that like, I think it's Reynolds or whoever it would be that would be like the backup to the backup. So he probably still won't get the touches that he like rightfully should get at this point. But I am hopeful that he will turn into like a top 5, top 10 running back, which
I still believe he will.
I still have Gibbs at 7. I have Gibbs at 7.
I'm team Gibbs. I'm taking Gibbs over Achane still. But I got my eye on Achane.
I like Gibbs at this spot. I just think Laporta should be below him, and obviously, in my eyes, at least, Bryce Young should still be top 4. So
I like to push back on the Laporta, like a little bit. Like I understand he's too high, but you haven't seen this out of a tight end.
No, that's fair.
Quite literally ever, I think. So he's doing some insane things in terms of like tight end history.
Pitts 1,000 yards, rookie.
I mean, Laporta he's working his way towards that.
Well,
I mean,
he is.
Injuries
but you said stuff. Ever. I just love the back and forth Laporta Pitts comparison every week.
Yeah, he won last week, Pitts.
Yeah, we'll see, bro.
But he won.
It took Mariota throwing the ball 50 times.
If we're talking, by the way, if we're talking ever,
Ritter, wherever, same quality quarterback.
Mike Ditka in 14 games, 10,000 yards and 12 touchdowns.
That's crazy for his time.
That was his best season ever, at least statistically.
His rookie year, wow.
All right.
Predictions.
Arrow is up on Laporta, though.
Predictions.
Arrow's up on Laporta for sure. This is just so stupid. Price at 10. Okay.
Yeah, let me buy at that price right now.
Yeah, Sam, will you sell me Bryce for Zay Flowers?
No, I will not.
I'll give you my 27. first rounder for Bryce Young.
I will defend Bryce Young so hard. Like, that is my guy. I love to see him actually playing pretty well right now.
He's playing pretty well. He's playing like a rookie. You're allowed to play like a rookie.
He's very classic rookie right now, and he's figuring it out.
He's learning.
You're
He's
seeing
making some mistakes.
improvements. You're seeing improvements. That's all you can ask for.
He's burning his hand on the stove.
Oh, guys, wait. Let's talk. Speaking of rookies that aren't improving, and there's a lot of discourse, I think, online right now about rookie wide receivers and how patient you should be. Right?
Talking about QJ.
Obviously. Would you
We
buy?
already did enough shitting on QJ. I don't think anyone likes QJ right now.
Okay,
I feel like
I give you. I want to.
Viber. That's where all of our shit.
That's true. This is the precursor to the podcast. Probably nobody knows what Viber is, but okay. QJ, would you take 2.12 or QJ? Guaranteed 2.12.
I'll still take QJ.
I think I'm taking QJ.
I'm slower than the rest.
I think I'm taking a 2.12.
Oh my god.
Dude's looking pretty busty. Not in the good way. All right. Strange predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm winning this week.
I'm not clicking into any of the rosters or bye weeks. You can do that on your phone if you want.
First impression.
Yeah. Wait.
All right. Paul versus that ESPN man. That's a Paul win.
Yeah, we're going Paul
W.
Hell yeah. Here, give me a second.
He's got Danielle Hunter, who is just destroying the world right now.
He's gonna be nervous for him as the original owner.
This could be done in prep. I don't know. The production in this podcast is not very good.
Don't worry, we'll edit this away.
Not.
Post-production.
Okay, and we have to... Is this match of the week? Good. Let's do that again.
What's the match of the week?
That's the final cap on the podcast, so...
Wait
for it.
I have a selection.
Okay, good. All right. Let's go for it. Okay, we're going with me for week 1, everybody?
I think we're all Paul.
Paul, very good.
I think
Sam
as
Jack.
Well.
Yeah, I think Sam. Sam, you'll like here that we don't have to change you at all either, so that's good. All right. Zach v. Alec. That's an interesting one.
I gotta take me because it's me. But, I don't blame anyone for taking Zach here.
I'm gonna take Alec. I liked what I saw last week. His team was nice and competitive against me.
What? Balanced, Sam.
I kind of want to take Zach as, I want that extra point if I'm kind of a gambler, right? Like if I pick Zach,
you can make such a big difference against the other.
I mean, I'm 3-3 right now. I really need to make up. I'll go for Zach. Why not? Okay. Mike v. Andrew. Do we have any Mike believers? Sam?
I feel like I believed in him once and it let me down.
Yeah, that was his birthday too. Yeah. A.
Austin obviously over Kyle. Man, some snooze matchups.
I hate the snooze matchups because I need all of these people to lose as many games as possible. So, but at least I get a game against Zach. All right, Todd v. Shane. Oh, there's the matchup where I'm winning.
I'm taking Shane.
I'm calling this matchup of the week for sure.
Yeah, to me there was 2 interesting matchups: me against Zach and Todd against Shane. I think theirs is more interesting.
I'd love for Shane to lose here, though, but
because we're still trying to see if Todd is a pretender.
Okay. Sam?
I think I'm going to pick Shane. I'm seeing more regular output for him.
These do kind of
close to 300.
these do kind of seem like pretty one-sided matchups, except for Zach v. Alec, doesn't it? I mean, that depends on if you believe in
every
Todd
match. Every match prediction for Todd has been way off. So he might go for 320 this week.
He's been breaking Vegas all season.
He has been.
Yeah, and recently he's been scoring good amounts of points too. So I mean,
I just like where Shane is scoring too. Shane is like regularly getting in the high 200s or 300s. So
yeah, I mean, he had a good match, a good showing. Low scores, only 3 above 300, and a lot that were kind of lower, not even close to 300. Sam, of course, you were close to 300. So kind of interesting to see compared to, I mean, yeah, look at how much above 300. I feel like scoring higher than it was in previous seasons.
I think it has been.
Yeah.
I remember last year.
We probably have more like productive players on our team year to year, I would assume.
Yeah, but if we're talking like league-wide, then I guess it's just more offensive plays getting run and better. But like, see, we have the defensive players too, so it's interesting. I'm not sure. It'd be fun to run like more detailed statistics on that, and but I don't know, it's just a feeling. And also, we haven't run into the bye weeks too heavily yet, so that makes a big difference too, right?
It does seem like it's been higher, but you are correct.
It's probably just the bye week thing, but we'll.
Like, you guys think I scored a pretty insane amount of points last year, right? That was only 317 per week, which has been broken many times this year, which is my evidence for it feeling very strong.
Yeah, no idea. We'll keep an eye on it. All right. Any closing remarks, guys? Oh, wait. So we already picked match of the week. Let's see.
We were saying
Shane
v. Todd. Do I need to get Kyle in here real quick to see what his take on that is? Match of the week.
No, because for once we're under 45 minutes, so I want to end it.
We'll give him 30 seconds.
Okay, give him 30 seconds.
I'm just gonna pull him in here from
match of the week.
He doesn't even know he's coming. Kyle, match of the week. Go.
Match of the week.
V. Todd.
Shane v. Todd is not the match of the week.
That's the match of the week. It's been decided. Who's winning?
I need to be on this
Shane
podcast.
Or Todd?
What, you think it's Zach
Shane,
versus...
because I think Todd has a ton of people on bye.
He has a ton of people on bye. Is he a pretender? Is he a contender? What is he? Go.
He is a pretender, but not by much.
That's what the people want to hear. The people being the two trying to pass him over.
Have I been recorded? Have I been recorded saying that?
You have been, and it will be noted.
Oh, shit. I know Todd is one of the 2 people who listens to the podcast.
No shit. Does he really? Hey, Todd.
No.
Oh, God damn it.
I think we might have one
Sorry
listener,
about
and
Rashi
that
Ray.
listener being Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew at least is a loyal viewer, so.
Andrew fucking loves, he loves paying $200 for fantasy content for all of us. So generous. And,
yeah, so for all you listeners out there, Andrew
is a contender.
We don't need to have Kyle on here for another 3 years because he won't be contending until 2027.
All right, and that wraps up.
All right, and that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Thank you, Kyle. Impromptu guest appearance.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good night.